A subtle muscle pulse keeps your entire system running silently. Imagine deep inside you, tiny pumps and pipes rhythmically adjusting themselves without a single thought from your conscious self. It is like an invisible orchestra tuning itself while performing a perfect equilibrium concert. These smooth muscles are not just passive tissue, they maintain our fundamental inner peace through constant micro-corrections. They manage everything from blood flow to gut movement using their own built-in clocks, what scientists call intrinsic pacemaker activity. If this deep regulatory system falters even slightly under stress, that hidden allostatic load, the quiet stability disappears completely for us.
It is not enough just that these muscles keep pulsing quietly. They actively seek out a perfect low-waste rhythm even when things are difficult outside of them. Think of your body's internal plumbing as an ecosystem needing absolute peace to run optimally. That need for quiet equilibrium drives the subtle processes we observe in somatic grounding, where neural whispers from the vagus nerve gently coax these muscle tones into balance. It is this intricate dance between intrinsic wiring and external signal that reveals how deep life force signatures operate within us, maintaining a state of perfect internal stasis against all odds.
What happens when that perfect internal stasis hits a wall? We thought smooth muscle just maintained things, but consider this idea of pure, undifferentiated will operating beneath perception. Think about an immense tidal system where every drop follows its deepest gravitational pull regardless of surface storms. That deep-seated equilibrium is supported by the subtle shifts in contractile patterns we are seeing now. It's how our bodies actively push against chaos internally. The sheer plasticity allowed within these muscle sheets to simply keep humming at a stable rate, defying external pressure. That mechanism itself suggests profound potential for non-intervention, which means something nobody expected, for how long that quiet self can actually sustain equilibrium when the world demands too much of us.
But how long can that internal hum truly last? We have these complex self-governing systems, yet there is resistance in the literature suggesting total reliance on inherent plasticity alone might be an overstatement of function. Imagine a delicate biological circuit board constantly running itself. Someone suggests those circuits need more external calibration than we think they do to stay stable against deep system drift. What makes this whole operation so utterly remarkable isn't just that it runs, but the way its subtle mechanics connect directly into our felt sense of being grounded in reality. Somatic grounding itself is rooted right here. If you want to understand the absolute limits of internal quietude, listen closely, because what follows suggests a fundamental shift in how we view self-regulation entirely. That intrinsic rhythm you felt, that deep hum of quietude, it isn't just passively surviving stress signals, it actively engineers its environment beneath our awareness. Think of a microscopic city regulator, constantly sensing pressure differentials across its entire infrastructure and subtly adjusting valve sizes without a central command station calling the shots. This process of optimizing contractile cycles for minimal energy expenditure is what we call parasympathetic dominance influencing muscle tone maintenance. But here's where it accelerates. That steady state doesn't just rely on local timing. There are specific feedback loops, like subtle electrical pulses across membranes, calcium cycling in slow waves, that resonate with deep biological signatures far removed from any single nerve firing point. What happens when those internal resonance patterns start to amplify against external demands? That is the next level of stability we need to grasp.
But what if that resonance, that inherent bioelectric signature within these muscle sheets, isn't just responding to strain? What if its very existence is a form of silent negotiation with reality itself? Imagine an immense tuning fork vibrating in absolute isolation. It sets a pitch not for anything nearby, but for the structure of space around it. We thought these internal clocks were merely maintaining balance against pressure differentials, that same mechanism we discussed before. Yet here is the startling finding. That steady state seems to be actively reinforcing some sort of foundational energetic signature within our own somatic integrity. And if this deep-seated rhythm dictates more than mere quietude, What unseen boundary are we actually touching in Act 4?
It turns out that sustained internal quietude isn't just a defense mechanism against external pressure. The way these muscles maintain their low entropy state actually dictates what we call somatic grounding itself. It roots our sense of place in reality. Imagine an ancient, perfectly weighted pendulum. Its stable swing doesn't merely counteract gravity, it defines the rhythm of the entire chamber around it. That intrinsic pacemaker activity creates a measurable signature, something deep within your own biological field. But this stability isn't accidental feedback. We are witnessing active participation. The next stage reveals how that continuous resonance becomes a fundamental tuning input for everything else running inside us. The quiet rhythm you felt earlier, that self-sustaining hum against pressure, that same mechanism now dictates a deeper kind of order within our systems. It is not just tuning, it is generating a fundamental reference point for existence itself. Think about setting the absolute zero point in physics. Everything else measures relative to it. That intrinsic pacemaker action establishes an endogenous set point, a baseline that defines stability even when external signals are noise. The insight here lies in realizing this process allows our bodies to maintain deep equilibrium without needing constant oversight from thought or intention. This capacity for autonomous self-calibration is the core engine of enduring vitality itself. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com. We saw how that inner hum sets a baseline, an internal zero point against all outside noise. But what does this self-calibration really allow? It permits a kind of effortless flow, a complete absorption into activity, where your will seems totally quiet, yet absolutely everything is being managed at the deepest level. Think about watching a perfectly balanced deep-sea current. It sustains life miles below, without any visible input to direct its course. This state, this maintenance of steady equilibrium against all resistance, is what we recognize as true parasympathetic dominance, influencing muscle tone upkeep, the system actively optimizing itself for minimal friction with existence. It reveals that enduring vitality isn't a goal you chase, but a set point your body engineers continuously below the surface. The full research archive is at jmthomasofficial.com.